Hey, what's up? Chris from Fascia and Roofing. Just going to show a little project that we're working on and little aluminum work. Camera died yesterday. I was going to show you how we did the shingles. Just a small little pump house in a slightly commercial area. So all wood, fascia. You can see underneath the soffit's not really wide. So I'm going to show you a little trick that you can do instead of putting, J trim up and little pieces of, 4 or 5 inch soffit. We're just going to clad it all in aluminum, and it's going to look awesome when it's done. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. We're going to do the face. We're going to do trough on both sides of this thing. Did the shingles yesterday. Full resheet was awesome, and yeah, enjoy. So for any more complex bends, more than 2 bends I'm going to say, what I usually do is I'll do a template really quick. So here's my measurements that I need for this piece. And I just cut a little small chunk, marked it all out. So I'm going to bend this just to make sure my measurements are good. The building's a little bit wonky like most. So doing this I find saves a lot of time instead of bending a 7 or 10 foot piece. If something's a little off on this, I can adjust it, and then I go my full bends from there. And just so you guys can check out the trailer, it's a little cramped right now, but this is basically my workstation. Got the brake set up on one side, all my roofing stuff on the other side, and this is getting ripped apart tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, tomorrow. And gonna be reorganizing it so we can have some full sheets of plywood against the wall, have a little bit of the tools organized better so I can get in there and work. It's tall enough to stand in, but it's a little cramped, so we're gonna try and fix that for tomorrow. Here comes the moment of truth. It's a profile that we bent up. Safety hem on the bottom. Actually, I already had to trim off the top. That was a 1 inch return, and I cut it down to about a 1/2 inch. So slide it under the drip. So that looks pretty good. Just enough clearance under there. Just gonna screw the bottom. It's gonna sit in there super tight and cover this bottom gap. And that looks good to me. All right, well, we got rain done. Yay, lunch is here. I'm starving. All right, so I got rained on. Things are going so slow. So we did the soffit in just flat stock because of the tiny size of it. Nothing's vented, nothing's heated. First piece of fascia is on, and I left an inch past. I'm just gonna show you a little trick to get a really nice miter at that corner. So I figured out the pitch of the roof at a 512. Take my fancy speed square, set it up for a 512. I'm gonna cut that. And when I go up there, it should be perfect. I mean, I'll know if I screwed up right away. But that's a lot easier than trying to bring your piece up. What I used to do when I first started, I would do one and get it kind of looking like that, and bring my second piece up with me and kind of eyeball it and draw a pencil line down. But you can see I even drew the 512 pencil line on that, so I knew I could notch over about an inch for my overlap, and it lined up really good. So we should be in good shape. Well, the rain's back. Thought I was in the clear. Got the 2 pieces of fascia on this side, so this side's wrapped up minus the trough. And I just want to point out, when you're doing fascia, any sort of metal work, you always want to be aware of line of sight. So I started with the back piece. You want to start installing away from where people are looking, so then this front piece overlaps over top of that and you don't really see the seam in the middle. I use a few screws just to hold it up for now, and then the trough is going to hold the rest of this piece on. But it turned out pretty good, color matched all right. Looks a lot better than it did before. Hey, Chris from Fascia and Roofing, back for day 2. Make sure my tube's looking good. My tube's looking good. All right, back for day 2 to put some trough up. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. This is probably the best case scenario. Gable side. Couple elbows for the downspouts, that's about it. Both the same size, so I'm going to prep them at the same time. I'm just going to put the drops on opposite sides because they're both going to drain out the back. So easiest way is set up a couple sawhorses, get your few tools out, get your tape measure. We're going to cut it down to length. We're going to put the ends on. We're going to cut the drop in. I like using drops. just what I've always done. Some people just cut an X and fold it down, but I like the drops and screwing them in. So we'll get that on, all prepped, and then we'll even put the hangers in before we put them up. So stop putting on both, I think 14 feet. So I'll show you once I get this all prepped, what it looks like before it gets hung up. All right, now our trough's cut, we're gonna put our end caps on. I have the one piece of trough finished, gonna work on the next one and just show you how they work. A lot of time this is where troughs will leak on people, the ends and the joints. So as you can see, it's a cutout of the shape of an ease trough. They're labeled left and right when you get them, although you can't put them on the wrong side, so I don't know why they do that. You're gonna sit it on there. If I had two hands, this would be easier. Anyways, I'm gonna push it on so it's tight, tighter than that. And what I do is I take my sweet Lennox crimpers, my downspout, and I'll just gently crimp that metal all the way around. So it's basically a pressure fit. And then on the inside, we will do the gutter sealant, a really nice thick bead, work it in. And that way I don't have to have any exposed screws or extra holes. I know a lot of guys use rivets. Some guys just pop some screws in there and a little bit of caulking, but I take my time to make sure it's pressure fit, really snug. And then, and then with the added caulking, it's never gonna come out and you're never gonna have a leak. All right, so this is the drop that we're gonna use for the downspout. And I measured about 12 inches in from the end, so we have some clearance. Place it on there, and what I do is I trace the inside. So we get a rough shape like that. And what I'll do is I'll take my sweet kind of multi-drill bit that goes through steel. We use it a lot in steel roofing for starting pilot holes. I'm going to drill through the center, then grab my yellow snips. And when it's done, it'll look something like that. We'll pop the drop through, and that gives us something to screw, nice and solid to screw our downspout to. And I like using them. They take a little bit longer. You got to use some more tools, but I like the final result better. Okay, so we slid the drops up through from the back side, and 2 screws will hold it in place. Simple as that. All right, we got all our ends caulked. A little bit of sealant around the drops. Go size down, so we can do the hangers next. First time I ever did a trough, I tried to put these up as I went, so I put like, there she goes. So I put a couple in to start, and then after I got up there, I tried to feed them in. Well, don't do that. It's super hard, if not impossible. So you want to put all your hangers in before you even bring the trough up. And I got 10. I usually go about every 16 inches, roughly down. So we're gonna do about 10 per. And then we got some really nice screws to anchor them in with. And that's it. Just grab the next one. I usually just drop them all in and then kind of space them out, see how many you're going to need, and then you can go back and just slide them under, click them in there, then we'll bring it up and put some screws in. Alright, I got this first piece of trough tacked up, and because we're only doing a short run, I didn't chalk line the slope. I can see if it's going to have proper grade, but if you're doing this by yourself, when you do your first screw, just throw a screw anywhere in the back of the trough high up, just so you can get both your hands free. If you try and while you're holding the trough, you know, and then you're fiddling around trying to get this hanger going and set it level, you're just gonna drop stuff. Know that from experience. So just tack it up, and I usually come to the middle, so that way, you know, I can raise and lower. I can set my my height off that one pivot point. So I'm just gonna raise up the high end, get it, just tuck it under the drip edge, and if we follow down, we're going to be about 1.5 inches below the drip edge where the water's going to exit. So I think that's going to work pretty good. Also, I like using for fastening are these hex head steel roofing screws. I use these for everything because they're awesome. But the big thing is that you can get a magnetic bit, and so you don't have to worry about the screw falling out. If you try and use a Robertson, I mean, they'll stay in most of the time, but if you try and use a different type of screw and you're holding it and you keep dropping them, you're gonna get frustrated. It really sucks. So doing it like this, you can basically do it one-handed. See if I can do it. I'm only looking through the camera right now. You know, and then I'll just screw it in there. Whoop, under the drip edge. Yeah, so definitely using something with a magnet and a little bit higher quality screws makes it so much easier and worth that little bit of extra time and money. Okay, so we got our troughs up. Looking sexy. So next is going to be to attach our downspouts. So as you can see, this building's really short. That's a full 10 footer. It's going way over. It's probably gonna be enough for one side. So first thing you need to do is kind of see where and what you need to get back to the building. So that's what I had. So I started with one elbow and I saw that it was really close. Sometimes you need an extension piece. So all I did was basically put two elbows together, and that's gonna get us right tight against the wall, which is perfect. I measured 9 inches over from the brick. And what that's gonna allow me to do is put a strap. X marks the spot right there. So we'll have one tie strap. We go down a few more feet, not too far because the ground behind us is a lot higher. So we're gonna stay up probably 3 feet and then have the second piece of pipe drain away from the building to the back here. Yeah, baby. So one thing I didn't grab for this job, because it's so small, are pipe straps. And that's where we pre-drilled that hole in the wall. So we could attach a strap to attach the downspout to the wall so it would fly away. So anyways, if you're going to make your own, which is super simple, I usually do a 15-inch piece by 2 inches and round one end that'll be on top so it looks a little more decorative. That way you can put it behind the pipe and wrap it all the way around, screw it in. They're so cheap. Like, I'm the guy that I'll buy every accessory if they make it to save time. A lot of times I'm working by myself or with one guy. So even though it only took me, 5 minutes to get the aluminum out and cut these, that's a couple of minutes I could have been doing something else if I just would have spent the couple bucks. But like I said, for only 2 of them, I didn't bother, and really I just forgot. And there's always extra aluminum around, so I might start making them myself more often. We'll see. I'll get my own design so I can label all my work. All right, first downspout complete. So we ended up using 2 elbows off the drop to get back against the wall. A single pipe strap was sufficient that we cut out of some flat stock. Looks really nice. And then because this is a low-lying area, we extended that pipe about 4 feet past the building, and then hopefully we'll have that water can get away instead of coming straight back the way it's been doing for the last 100 years or whenever they built this thing. You guys didn't get to see, but we did the roof, and it was tarped when we came to look at it. Knew there'd be a little bit of rot. We pulled the tarp off, and I swear to God, there were just divots everywhere. It's like the balls from the golf course were just coming over here and smashing this thing. But no, it's mostly because of these trees. They're way too close. They got trimmed back before they were growing right up onto the roof, and there was vines all over the wall. You can see they cleaned most of them off, but they got right up and under all the wood and into the roofing. So this whole side, there was 5/8 plywood on the top, and it was just gone. It was crumbly. Very messy, dirty tear off for a little 2 square roof. But we got her done. Nicole and I powered through it. Metalwork's almost finished, so we're gonna go get that other downspout done, and we're gonna call her a day. All right, I wanna quickly show you guys what not to do when you're doing soffit fascia, and that's just try and cheat. So
I screwed up on my very first piece. It's kind of a funky bend. I did a template and everything I showed you guys, and I still cut it short. So that's what I decided to do. I'm just gonna patch a little 6-inch piece in, 8-inch piece. It's okay. I mean, it's the back of the building. No one's ever gonna see it. I personally wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I left it like that. I just want to show you guys what not to do. And if you see someone do this, you know, it's working on your house, they kind of put a little, and you see the other side's a full piece. So it's not that I couldn't make the piece. I just screwed up this first one. I cut it 2 inches short. My bad. So yeah, so I just bent that up super quick. Took me 5 minutes instead of taking the whole thing down. But I got my new piece bent now, and I'm gonna put it on and show you guys what the difference is. Because to me, this is just ugly and isn't showing a lot of respect for the trade and for, you know, making things look beautiful. All right, 10 minutes later, pulled those 2 pieces off, cut and bent a new one. So much better. That's how you gotta do it. All right, there we have it finished. Some sofa, fascia, and eaves trough. We'll do the roofing in the next video with the next one that we get, which should be coming up soon with my buddy Jeff. The building turned out great. It's always nice to leave a job site clean and tidy as well. Do a couple of walk-arounds. Yeah, everything turned out really well after getting all the wood rot out. Just waiting for the key to lock everything up. Yeah, another job well done.